Andre asked on Twitter whether it was possible to get an RSS feed from GitHub with a list of a given user's most recently starred projects. And it may be possible natively inside of GitHub, but I thought it would be pretty interesting to try to build this from start to finish, entirely from scratch in OneGraph, maybe even twice in 10 minutes. So with that, let's go ahead and give it a shot and dive in. So I'm going to start the timer, jump into OneGraph. I'm going to create a query called find starred. I'm going to go ahead and dive into GitHub. Let's pull out some information on the user. And for now, we'll hard code it to Andre. But it could, of course, be parameterized. I'll then pull out the starred repositories. We'll get the first 10 most recently starred. And let's get some meta information like the total starred repositories and some pagination info in case we want to paginate later. For each of the ones that have been starred, let's pull out their description, their ID. Let's do name, name with owner, and URL. So if we go ahead and run this, you can see that we're able to see 1100 starred repositories, and the most recently starred one is something called React Virtuoso. So this is looking right, looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and open up the code exporter now, and I'm going to use this from Node. I'm going to copy this code, jump over to Code Sandbox, and I'm going to paste this in. I'm going to change import to require. And it advises me to add this to my package.json, so I'll go ahead and do that now. And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and use this RSS generator package to generate the actual feed. And the most recent version is 0.3, so we'll save that. And we'll go ahead and save our JavaScript file. It'll install the packages, and we'll go ahead and run start. See if this works. Great. All right. So this is exactly what we expect. It's making a GraphQL request via GitHub to via OneGraph to GitHub, but we're missing authentication. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and run a server-side auth here. So I'm going to create a server-side auth token. So we'll call this OcoHub GitHub, and I want to add my authentication for GitHub in here. So go ahead and authorize this. And I could add others, but for right now we're just going to do this. And I'm going to copy this, and all this is going to require is that I add this in as authentication bearer, and we'll paste that in. And now whenever we look at our console.log, it looks like we have exactly what we're hoping for. So now I'm going to pull out this RSS feed generator, and inside of our start, if we get here, this is our new feed. Our feed options are just going to be title OcoNets feed. And now what I'm going to do is for the data.github.user starred repositories, and then I'm going to just jump into the nodes, and we'll do map. And so for each of these, we'll get an item, and we will do feed.item, and the title is going to be the item.name. Description is going to be item.description. And let's go ahead and say URL is item.url. So we'll save that. And let's go ahead and then output the feed.xml, and we'll indent true. Save that. And let's see, RSS is not defined. We do need to require the package. That seems fair enough. So I'll go ahead and throw that in there. Save. And let's see. I'll use the right titles. Let's see, this is on, can't find, oh, it's RSS generator. And there we go. We have a full thing working. So let's go ahead and copy this out. So I'm going to grab the XML feed, scroll down to the bottom, and let's examine it to make sure that it looks right. And we'll do an HTML version. And there we go. So we have our description and a link to the upstream repository that has actually been starred. So that's once that we've built it. Let's build it, maybe not with RSS, but just JSON on the front end. All I'm going to do is actually I want to go ahead and close the exporter. To make this a little bit more fun, I'm going to add a mutation in here. that is going to go into GitHub, and it's going to add a star. So we could definitely star another one if we wanted to. And let's go ahead and just hard code it for right now to be this ID. So we'll star this. And then having starred a repo, let's go ahead and get its ID back. So now we have these two operations, and let's go ahead and call this add star. You can see that this syncs bidirectionally, which is really nice. Now let's go ahead and go back to our code exporter. And I actually want to do React Apollo instead. I'm going to copy all of this. And once again, from scratch, I'm going to paste this in. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the package.json as it recommends. We'll save that, and it'll build everything. And what I need to do is add this to our CORS origins, since this is being done entirely serverlessly from a React-only app. So I'll go ahead and add this and allow network requests to be made from here. And you can see that it actually has generated a application that already has authentication installed. So you can see that I'm missing auth. But if I click on this, OneGraph is also going to handle the authorization for me. And I run in there. And now whenever I rerun the top query, you can see, boom, there we go. We have an entire entire React application that we're able to build with the user's most recently starred repositories in both Node natively generating an RSS feed and inside of a React application if we want. And we still have a few minutes to spare. So anyway, this was just a fun project. I thought I would give it a shot.